Hello everyone, it's me, Banoffee Pie, here again today. And I would normally do it on my computer, but this time I've decided to stick to my phone. But I'm here to bring, again, another Thomas and Friends review on the series. And since I got this year, I've actually got the four of them that were missing, which were Season 3, Season 4, Season 6 and Season 7. I've decided to review Series 3 of Thomas and Friends. So yeah, I've now got all the eight first series of Thomas and Friends. So Series 3 is my second favourite Thomas and Friends season because in case you didn't know, in after Series 2 in 1986, the Thomas and Friends series went a bit on a hiatus because they were concentrating on to bring the apparently sister series of Thomas and Friends called Tugs. But unfortunately, Tugs didn't last very long, only for one season. It ended in 1989. But in the 90s, Series 3 came out in somewhat like in 1991. And it's the first series to introduce the new narrator, Michael Angelis. And I've got to say, the narration Michael Angelis did was absolutely superb. He depicted the characters very well, a bit like Ringo Starr did, just a bit different voices for the characters. What I also like about Season 3 of Thomas and Friends is that if you remember Tugs, you will notice that there are some characters such as Big Mickey, SS Vienna, the Shrimpers, the Coast Guard, and some other models of the series of Tugs. Well, you may think that the people who were behind the scenes scrapped the models. No, they didn't. Instead, they put it in the Thomas and Friends series. Of course, Big Mickey did get himself to be a character in the series, but that wasn't until the Series 21 episode, New Crane on the Dock. Yeah, that was the name of the episode. He got a face, but in the series, before Big Mickey got a face, he was in the series of the model series. He was referenced to the giant crane, which is a bit understandable because they didn't want it to reference Tugs until Series 21, I think. But let's focus on the Thomas and Friends characters. Each episode for the Railway series was brilliant. I've actually made a mistake on the Series 2 review because apparently this has got to be the first series that has an episode which is not based on a Railway series book, but actually based on a magazine story, I think, or in another book. And I think that was the episode Thomas Gets Bumped, which surprisingly people really like this episode. The reason why it's surprising, because fun fact, Thomas Gets Bumped is one of the first ever Thomas and Friends episodes I've watched when I was a young child. Because back when I was around 2 years old, I've had my first ever Thomas and Friends VHS. And that was Funtime Favourites, which, of course, the first episode is Thomas Gets Bumped. Yeah. I've got to admit that this episode is quite enjoyable. All the characters stay in character. I also like how how some of the railway stories were depicted. For example, for the stories of tramway engines, which are Mavis and Toby's Tightrope, managed to stay closely adapted to the railway series. The music for the Runaway theme was absolutely thrilling. The introduction to Mavis and of course Oliver, Toad, Bulgy. Am I missing any characters? Please, if I do, please tell me. The music in it is also awesome. But my two favourite episodes of season 3 have got to be Henry's Forest and All at Sea. Probably because of the music, but I've got to admit, they make the episodes really, really powerful. Henry's sad theme in Henry's Forest was actually really upsetting because it also goes to show how things can happen in real life. Why some people want to protect nature, and I've got to admit that sort of moral of the story was brilliantly handled. All at Sea. All at Sea's ending was also powerful due to Duck still imagining about lands far away, but he still prefers to be with friends, which is really touching. What's also great about season 3 is that it's also the last series until series 5 to have a finale episode of the series which is Christmas or winter themed. And Thomas and Percy's Christmas Adventure makes a good finale episode. What's also fun, I've read on the wiki that the episode itself, Thomas and Percy's Christmas Adventure, premiered on the 14th of July, which is around the summer. It's also the national fete of my country, France, in case some people didn't know that. Yeah. However, one not too negative thing I have is that the episode Percy's Promise is kind of a bit misleading, because in the series 2 episode Percy Takes the Plunge, he mentions the events of his episode Percy's Promise in the series 2, so that makes people a little bit confused. Yeah. But still, to the episode Percy's Promise, I've got to admit, the music in it fitted really well with the episode, and Mike O'Donnell and Junior Campbell did really well with the music. You don't even need an orchestra to make the music that brilliant. Just 2-man bands is perfect. An orchestra is still fun, but just have a synthesizer. Unless I'm much mistaken, maybe they used instruments, because if they did, you tell me in the comments. But having a synthesizer doing all the work is absolutely incredible. Yeah. So all in all, season 3 is a really, really good start for Michael Angelis doing the narrating and depicting the characters. It's also a good comeback for the series of Thomas and Friends. So yeah, I'm done reviewing season 3, and I'll see you next time for another Thomas and Friends review. Goodbye.